What's up, y'all? We are back on yet another Wednesday. You know what we like to do here on Wednesdays? We like to go over the best humps in anime over the course of the internet, and that is ecchi anime. So let's get into it. This week we're going to talk about what it means to be distracted from studying and living a normal life in Ao-chan Can't Study. Now, Ao-chan Can't Study is a super simple show. It's just a girl named Ao who wants to study, but she can't because her life is full of mishaps and misadventures. This is basically a slice of life, except for if the person living it just didn't want to live this slice of life. She just wants to do what she does, sitting at her desk, do her work, and just not talk to anybody, except for the fact that everybody wants to do stuff with her. It's almost like Tana-kun is always listless. What makes this show unique, though, is the reason why we're featuring it on a hump day, and that is the ecchi. So this show's ecchi just comes from the fact that she's a very busty girl, and she's drawn busty as all hell. And that means that she just has to jiggle whenever she moves, and she has to be sexualized, and she has to be taken advantage of in almost every sense of the word. So her dad is actually a manga writer, and he's an arrow manga writer, if you know what I mean. So because of that, he gets inspiration from anything sexy that happens in life, and he often tries to exploit her in a sexual way, mainly for a comedic aspect, but it also does kind of make you wonder why. And so while he's living his best life, he's kind of putting her in a weird position where she doesn't want to be known for that. She doesn't want anybody to know who he is, and she's embarrassed of him. But she, unfortunately, always has to deal with him being everywhere. And it kind of makes it for a really comedic duo between the two of them, where he's one way and she's the exact opposite. And they're always around each other, so they bounce off really well. And then on top of all that, you add in the guy that's interested in her. We'll call her Protag B. So Protag B is interested in her, and he, she doesn't want him to see her dad. And he doesn't care. He just loves her for her, which is a dope, that's what we need, right? Like, that's every protag need, or at least it should be. So in this series, you have just a bunch of wacky misadventures and a bunch of things happening on the side of this plot, where the main plot is just her trying to study, and she can't because her life is just too inflated. And it actually has a really good plot to it. Like, I mean, aside from all the nonsense that I've just been talking about for the past couple of minutes, this show has a really, really, really good plot where it has a start and an end, and it feels complete all the way throughout the middle. There aren't any side episodes. Every episode feels cohesive in the project of the show, from episode 1 to episode, I think it has 13, so episode 13. The ecchi in this show doesn't make you feel like you're gonna kill yourself, but it also is enough to make you be like, cool, this show is worth watching for sure. But if you don't want to watch it for the ecchi, I promise you the slice life aspect of the show is really, really well done, and the romance in the show is actually complete. It makes you feel good. I mean, there's a actual problem inside of the romance where she really wants to study to get her grades up, and they're falling because of old dude, and he's like, I don't understand, and she's like, I don't understand either. So things get really tense for a second, because it's a really lighthearted show. So when things get tense, you know that it's going to blow over quickly, because the show is a lighthearted feel, and it just wants you to be happy and experience a good show, and you do. The show lures you in with a really good color palette and really good animation, and then it keeps you there with the characters and the plot and the development between the two of them. I would say that in terms of animation, the show doesn't really have a lot for it to animate, because a lot of it is just them talking and moving and standing still. But when it does flesh its animation wings, it's definitely 8 out of 10 for sure. It's one of the better ones that you can see. And then on top of that, the color palette of the show is really nice and airy. It feels really light. Like, every color is light. There's no dark moments. There's no dark scenes. Everything seems really uplifting, and this is not a show that I would watch at night, because it's just too bright. Haha, night bright. All in all, I give Ao-chan Can't Study a 9 out of 10 for sure. The animation, the character development, the plot, it's all excellent. And then on top of that, you got the ecchi to top it off. It's like that nice cherry right on top of the show. So I would say to go check out Ao-chan Can't Study. Kind of twisted me up there for a second, because the show is definitely 9 out of 10. It's definitely one of the best that you're going to see. And if you don't like the ecchi, you can always watch it for some of the other things inside of the show, because it's got a bunch more things inside of it other than ecchi. So that'll do it for me on this hump day. This is a pretty quick one, but this is a very self-explanatory show. I mean, it's just good. It's just all around a good show, well-rounded. So go check it out. That's it for me, y'all. I'm Kevin. I'm out.
Yeah.
Peace.
I must confess, yeah, I'm doing well. What goes around comes around like a carousel, and the haters keep on watching and paying attention. You sending shots, well, I'm sorry, I can't even tell. I envision going out to eat with dim lights, get in my suit tailored, make sure that it fit right. Bank account looking like I sell cocaine. To think a couple years ago I was a no-name. In the city with a 10 where I wanna stay. Downtown Cincinnati each and every day. Top flow Chardonnay on a Saturday. I take this shit year to year, boy, you day to day. Yeah, old friends ask where I been. They always wanna feature and they ask if I'm in. I tell them whatever I tell them and I keep it moving. Years ago they never called, I find it amusing. Yeah.